Listen, every day I learned something different. And in fact, I'm even recording in my man cave. Okay? But you know what came to my head the past couple of days as I'm trying to get to a declaration of confirmation that I'm all paid in my alimony and no more obligations and so on? I mean, I have to hire an attorney to even file that. That's just how crazy it is. But you know what I started thinking about? Squatters. My ex-wife was a professional squatter. How do I know that? During discovery, I found out that she never owned a home, and she was close to 50. She had lived with men all her life, including her parents, her sister. She never really had a career or jobs. And I'm such a sucker, I felt for her. I have that in my heart to help the poor. Now, when I met her, she owned a condo, and I owned a condo. Well, I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, she's got a job, she owns a condo and so on. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't look into it. I didn't look into it that she was in foreclosure. She wasn't paying her mortgage. She wasn't paying her HOA. Then 4 years before we got married, I met her 2 years before we got married, she filed bankruptcy, which I was aware of. But I didn't realize she was going to go into foreclosure, which she did. A few months after our marriage. So I even got an attorney to help try to get her out of that. But thank God I didn't pay for anything. So bottom line here is, I take some notes here. I don't memorize my shit. I'm just saying the pain is so hard, and I keep thinking, how stupid was I? So I want to pass this on to you, especially breadwinners or mature professional people that own a home. And in my case, I own my own home. I never commingle. That's what I learned from the first marriage. The first marriage, I was marrying for love, had children, was 21, 22 years old. Then I learned. Okay? You learn these things the hard way. Okay? But what I didn't really realize is she was so poor that during a prenup, I should have, hear me out, during the prenup, no wonder why she was anxious to sign the prenup. Because I was a sugar daddy. I didn't really care about her net worth up until that time because I was going to take care of the home. I was going to take care of the overhead, the fixed costs. I thought she was going to be a contributor towards the growth of our new life together. She was a professional squatter, and that's what you got to look for. We've talked about this. As my YouTube channel is growing, I have a lot of angry dudes, happy women, unhappy people from the past, but guess what? You're going to get through that. And that's what I'm trying to explain is don't put yourself in the position that I put myself in. Educate yourself. And what's great about this is today we're talking about AI. We're talking about Google. We're talking about the internet. Everything's out there, man. YouTube. You want to learn about shit? When I started thinking about squatter, how many people talk about squatters in the marriage? Nobody. So I went on YouTube. Says, hey, squatters, unbelievable. The landlord laws don't exist. The landlord is the victim. We all know that. And during COVID, it made it even worse. So think about the state you're in. But before you get married, I've talked about this more than once. The first step is, especially breadwinners, especially more than one marriage, learn from the past. There's sharp people that are getting married for the first time, no matter what age you are. You make sure you don't commingle anything. But what I really learned from today's assessment and evaluation, if I had to look back at what to do, I would have definitely had a lease with my wife. Besides the prenup, lease is even stronger than the prenup. I'm telling you right now. And here's where I made a mistake and my attorney made a huge mistake. The warning from my attorney was, Rock, be careful. She's living with you. You can't evict her under this circumstances. But what she could have did, my attorney could have did, was get a restraining order, Rock, and show that you own your home exclusive. She has no interest in the real estate, in the property of my condo. Okay? That could have been a big savings, because then the temporary, what they call temporary relief, is I could have probably got that cut in half, because she had a lease with me and she wasn't paying for the lease. And I was okay with her not paying for the lease. However, she would have to get out of the house under my demands. You see what I'm saying? So there's a loophole here, bro. Okay? Now, the other thing I learned was my ex-wife lived with me for 7 months. 7 months under temporary relief. I had to pay her while she lived with me, and under the threat that she could just call the cops and allocate or, what should I say? Accuse me of anything. Rape, hit her, anything. And they would pull me out of my own home. Exactly. So if we would have set the pace and set the record that, and she could put a restraining order on me, of course. But the key is the temporary relief, get her out of the house ASAP, all the property, even the cars were leased in my name. See what I'm saying? There was no commingling. I was paying the bills though. So I could have cut this out, cut that out, cut this out, and it would have happened a lot quicker. Now, just kind of read off what AI said a little bit as my story. For 7 months after we separated, no rent, no work, no plan. Just staying with me and draining me. And the attorneys were draining me double, okay? Here, my attorney told me, Rock, be careful. She could call the cops on anything. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I wasn't safe in my own home. I was walking on eggshells. And she could have actually walked away with this. That's how bad it was. I had to prepay to get her out of my house. So the first thing I should have did was file for exclusive use of the home, my home. Filed a restraining order, number 1, along with that. And protect myself with documentation with the court. In this case, you got to have emails, you got to have texts, you got to have voicemails. I mean, videos today. Video is a big deal. Anything that shows who's contributing and who's not contributing and who's squatting. The court looks at this. And you're supporting the household, so you make it visible to the court that you're paying all the bills. My attorney at that time missed it. I had a lawyer, a well-paid one, but they missed a few critical moves. No unlawful detainer was filed. No exclusivity use petition was filed. No reduction in temporary relief payments, even though I was paying everything and living like a tenant in my own home. Why? Because attorneys, lawyers often don't think like strategists. They think in motions. I think in moves. And that's what you got to do. So if you're watching this, be your own strategist. You basically have to understand that you're the breadwinner. You're the owner of all these assets. You can't wait. If the marriage is ending, take legal action early. Okay, even if you go pro bono, you hire somebody to execute. I hired an attorney recently just to motion to court to have documentation. Why? Because I found out they're not going to listen to me. It's going to take months, maybe years, to get the files that I'm trying to get filed to my estate planner, because what if I died in the meantime? They're going to go after my shit if you don't have documentation. So I'm telling you this not out of anger, but out of truth. This is what happened to me. So here's my call to action. Be smart, be strategic, and never let your home become your hostage situation. All right? Now, I keep talking about, Rock, your divorce strategist. Now I'm really saying, hey, listen, besides your divorce strategist, the next move after you're divorced, after you made your deals, after you cut your best negotiations and obligations, I'm going to be your life strategist. This is what to do. You got to remember, I'm 71 years old. I've been through a lot of shit, up and down. And wait till I get into the business partnerships and the divorces and the breakups of business partners. Why? Over money. That's all it is. And attorneys, business people are a lot more strategic than a husband and a wife. Believe me. Okay? So this is helping you to understand that either party is a squatter somehow, some way. So protect yourself. I hope you like this setup a little bit different. Usually I got the sunglasses on, but I had to get this out, man. I had to get this out. And you could always contact me, Rock LaManna. And please comment, share, pass on to your friends, and be careful. Even look back at your situation because it may happen to you. And what are the risks? 50 to 80% of your risk is that you're going to go through a divorce. First time, second time, third time, whatever it is. Believe me, there's squatters out there. And my ex-wife, squat, professionally, body count, used her parents, used her family, used the county, filed bankruptcy, filed foreclosure. I didn't find this out until discovery, which cost me thousands of dollars. She didn't even have a college education. I was shocked. She got a GED in the United States from Columbia. I didn't know that. Why? I didn't do my due diligence. No wonder why she signed the prenup. No wonder why she signed the state marriage license. No wonder why she went through the church. And the church even found her as fraudulent. This is how crazy it is, guys. And ladies, protect yourself. This doesn't even include the kids. I haven't started there. But bottom line here is you got to take care of yourself. Watch your squatters, professional squatters that are spouses. Be careful. I'll talk to you soon.